全国开启，一共设今年全国有1300
每个人对高考的记忆都各不相同，
比去年增加了100。
Dai Yan is an 18-year-old art student from Ma'anshan, a small city in the province of Anhui in eastern China. Today we're following her to her studio to see what kind of art she's studying. Dai Yan is taking the art track of Gaokao, which she says is not as competitive as other subjects and therefore less stressful.
Of course, there's bound to be competition pressure as one of the 32,000 art students in my province competing this year in the Gaokao. Although the pressure is high for me, it is not as bad compared to those who are taking the mainstream exam. There are more than 200,000 students who are taking the humanities tracks of Gaokao, but schools may only accept 50,000 people. The pressure on those humanities students is particularly huge. My friends who are studying humanities are working very hard every day. It is normal in China for an 18-year-old high school student to take the Gaokao. Everyone takes the Gaokao, and it would be weird if you didn't try. Going to college is the only way to get out of here. Everyone does it, and if you don't, you fall behind. It will be difficult to get a good job without a college degree. Even though going to college may not necessarily lead to a better life, but having a university degree doesn't hurt your chances. If you're a Beijing or Shanghai resident, it is easier to get into university because the high schools there are better, and you're better prepared for the test. But if you are from a smaller city in Anhui or Henan, you have to study very hard to get in. For most of us, Gaokao is the only way for a typical student in an average city to seek a better future. If you don't take this route, you are stuck here in this small circle forever.
But Dai Yan is also a typical teenager, and like the teenagers in America, she likes to hang out with her friends in her spare time.
Sometimes, I go shopping or to the movies with my friends. If we didn't make plans to hang out, I just chill at home and play with my phone and watch TV on my tablet.
This year, the students face another issue. In China, the COVID-19 pandemic is not over, and faced with sporadic and unpredictable outbreaks and subsequent lockdowns, students taking the Gaokao have faced some interesting challenges.
We have to take a nucleic acid PCR test 48 hours before the Gaokao. We have to get our temperature checked and wear a mask. However, we don't have to wear the mask during the exam.
The Gaokao is also a family affair, to the extent some parents and students wear special clothing for luck.
They wear red on the first day for a good and propitious start. On the second day, they wear something green, meaning green light all the way. On the third day, they wear grey and yellow, which is homophonic to the word glory, meaning glorious victory. But I am not that superstitious. I think wearing red draws too much attention because people are visual creatures. If you wear red in the exam room, the old proctor will be staring at you. So you might as well wear your normal clothes. Otherwise, the staring may make you nervous and cause you to do badly on your test.
And like a typical teenager, Dai Yan has plans for herself.
There are lots of things I look forward to in college. For instance, I can join all kinds of clubs where wherever I want, use my smartphone whenever I want, without all the restraints imposed by my high school, and no more sneaking around. I'm actually looking forward to dating. Although I'm not jumping into it right now, but I'm excited about it. I'm not sure whether it is practical. But as a teenage girl, I'm looking forward to romantic experiences. I really want to go to Europe because it is romantic to be in Europe. And I like the European architecture, especially what's in Paris, which is famous for its design. I think Gaokao is the first milestone of my life. It will allow me to get out of my city to see the world, to expand my horizons, to gain more knowledge, and to learn for myself. Unlike junior and senior high schools, which are exam-oriented and where we are required to study predetermined subjects, There's no personal choice to learn things that I am really interested in.
那是没办法才学的，但是我想要学一些我真正感兴趣的东西。
My name is Wu Huizi, and I teach in the Zhengpu Port branch of the No. 2 High School in Ma'anshan, Anhui Province. I'm in my 8th year of teaching there, responsible for the 3rd graduating class. I teach history. One important aspect of the Gaokao is that it doesn't matter if you fail for the first time. It's okay. You can give it another go and another, and so on. This echoes what the Chinese say, God help those who help themselves, and the idea of daring to follow your dream. We don't call the students who repeat a year after graduating from these required 3 years of high school repeaters. Instead, we call them Senior 4 for those who repeat the first time, Senior 5 for those who repeat a second time, Senior 6 a third time, and so on. We consider you're still a high school student. Your final goal is still to take the Gaokao. For all the students who are preparing to take the Gaokao, the repeaters are under the most stress. For them, it implies that their 3-year efforts in high school were more or less flawed, and the result regrettable. They shoulder high expectations. Some students make a choice to repeat despite getting quite a good score on their first try, especially in the eyes of an outsider. They choose to repeat another year so they may fulfill their dream of getting into a better school, a school they targeted but their score did not carry them there. They not only impose pressure on themselves a second time, but there are also high expectations from others that they succeed on their next try. Furthermore, this decision puts a heavy burden on their parents. The cost of repeating a year can strain the finances of a student's family. If your score is lower than expected, you might need to spend upwards of $15,000 for tuition to attend a top-level school. Not every family can afford it. Under such circumstances, can students seize the opportunity to achieve their goals?
Jiang Xin has made the difficult but potentially life-changing decision to repeat her senior year.
I'm Jiang Xin. I attended Baoan High School in Shenzhen for 3 years and took the Gaokao in 2021 after graduating from high school. I chose to repeat a year and went to Hengshui High School in Hebei Province. I studied there for half a year. Then I returned to Shenzhen and attended another school to prepare for the 2022 Gaokao. I got the admission notice on the train on my vacation to Xiamen in 2021 that I did not get into my dream school because I was 1 point short. I spent the night in Xiamen thinking about what I should do. I remember sitting on the roof of the hostel in Xiamen, staring at the street below and wondered, should I go to a school I don't like and waste my 3 years of high school, or repeat a year and give myself a better option? I decided on the latter because I know I can get a better test score. Now I'm very happy about my decision. In Hengshui, I met many new friends and also learned another side of Chinese education. It was a much more rigorous and challenging school compared to my experience in Shenzhen. It's a semi-military school. We had a very strict schedule. We got up at 5:30 a.m. and went to bed at 11 p.m. every day. Every waking minute was programmed. There was no privacy or personal space. It felt like the entire class had a collective mission, Gaokao. We were not allowed to carry any electronic devices, and the teacher conducted surprise searches and frisked you to see if you had any contraband. If forbidden items were found, the consequences were severe, such as suspension or expulsion. My classmates from Shenzhen could only write letters to me. They wanted to know about my life at Hengshui, so they sent me disposable cameras, and I took a lot of photos documenting my life during that time. My decision to repeat also put my parents under a lot of pressure. Their colleagues would ask them why their child is repeating a year, implying I was a bad student and they failed to make sure I studied hard. But my parents just took it on the chin and supported my decision to try again. I think the intense study at Hengshui actually made me happy. What kept me going in such a tough environment is that I could see my own progress. I worked my way up from the bottom to the top. I could see the improvement because of my efforts. Also, the teachers and students were very kind and took care of me because I was a newcomer from the south. Honestly, the teachers at Hengshui were more enthusiastic and devoted to their work than any teachers I encountered before.
After spending some time in Henshu High School, Jiang Xin returned to finish her senior 4 at a boarding school in Shenzhen.
I was more relaxed back in Shenzhen. Sometimes I daydreamed in class or skipped my classes to play basketball with my friends at the playground. I also had a lot of more free time, so I could have dinner with my friends after school. The schedule in Shenzhen was more relaxed. There were many opportunities for me to manage my stress level. I could take a walk with my classmates on the playground after classes, which made me feel a lot better. Our teachers were also concerned with students' mental health, so they showed us movies and organized outdoor activities like sports and games. We were all feeling homesick during the lockdown, so teachers sent photos of the students home to our parents. The reason Gaokao is very important is because it more or less determines the direction of one's life. In China, there's a huge salary difference between people with a college education and those without. In fact, many people who took Gaokao are able to cross the socioeconomic line by getting jobs that use their intellect as opposed to physical labor, thereby gaining upward mobility. We tend to have more respect for those with more advanced educations.
Like Dai Yan, Jiang Xin is also looking forward to college next year.
What I'm looking forward to most is meeting different people and getting to know their lives, understand why they do what they do, and become friends with them. Actually, I wasn't really sure what I'm looking for in high school, and have no idea what I want to do in the future. So I'm looking to find the answer in college, because it offers a broader platform for me to learn and explore different options.
And finally, some Chinese students choose to jump out of the Chinese education system and plan their college overseas.
I'm Ma Jia from Shanghai Guanghua International Center, an A-level school, a UK qualified education institution. I have been admitted to the London School of Economics. I went to school in the international system in China since childhood. The biggest difference between the Chinese and international systems is the teaching of foreign languages and the reduced pressure. The students who take the Gaokao are always under a lot of pressure to study and take practice tests. The pressure intensifies further during the first semester of their senior year. While the second semester of their senior year is the most stressful time, we are actually quite relaxed because we have already gotten our acceptance offer from an overseas university.
The international school system is more like what the Chinese call the quality education.
I believe quality education is about teaching you how to be your own person and not be a study machine. The Chinese Gaokao is the test that determines the path of your future education and your life. I think it's really unfair. The system under the Gaokao does not look at you as a whole person, which includes your worldview, outlook on life, your values, and your upbringings. Whereas a system that emphasizes quality education might also look at your extracurricular activities such as sports and public service, which I believe is a more diverse and comprehensive way to measure a young person's growth. Even if you try very hard, you still might not get into a college that matches your potential due to China's large population and the relative shortage of higher education resources. To me, this is rather inhumane. Outside of China, there are more universities and resources, so there are more opportunities. Getting a college education overseas can be expensive, which not everyone can afford, so the competition is less in the international realm. However, more and more Chinese kids are studying abroad in recent years because the Chinese economy is getting better. As a result, it is also getting competitive in the overseas study pool. Competition is everywhere. It is a fact of life which one cannot avoid. Of course, Gaokao has always been very competitive. You work your butt off every day with very little sleep, but may still not be able to get into an A-list school. I really don't think that's worth it. It is important for me to develop my independence and the ability to research information from various sources to shape my own understanding, instead of allowing my parents or teachers to make decisions for me. I will take my own initiative to make decisions, including the major I want to study or where I want to go to school. I think life is all about experiences. It is a great thing if you can visit many countries, meet different people, and learn about their cultures and their education system. But it does not mean you have to stay in that country or work there. Personally, Gaining the overseas college experience is enough for me. I think the quality education I received in Guanghua has improved my multitasking skills. I can handle different projects at the same time, balancing academic performance, which is the priority, and extracurricular activities, such as student associations, clubs, interacting, including conducting interviews with outside groups.
One major change for students during the COVID-19 pandemic has been the proliferation of online classes, and it affected each student differently.
The decreased effectiveness of online learning impacted everyone, but I think for people with self-discipline, it provided a good opportunity to move ahead. Another way to look at it is you can simply mute the class with content that is too easy and do your own thing, such as study for a test or work on another subject.
Just like everyone else, Ma Jia wants to aim for the best university, but she is also realistic about her chances.
In the end, I applied for universities in the United Kingdom and Hong Kong. One can only apply to 5 schools with the same major in the UK. I considered applying to Oxford and Cambridge because my junior year grades were really good. However, Cambridge doesn't have business management, which is the major I'm interested in. At Oxford, it is also the most difficult program to get into. Oxford has a very low acceptance rate and they simply don't admit Chinese students, so I didn't feel the need to try. With Hong Kong schools, I applied to study law, which is a completely different subject area. Actually, I'm not that serious about law, nor do I have a clear understanding of it. But law seems like a nice option for a liberal arts student like myself, and it's usually the high scorers and the very best students' preferred choice. I know if I don't have the passion for law, I probably wouldn't even last in the program. So after giving the choices some more thought, I decided my interest still lies in business. Compared to the schools in Hong Kong, the London School of Economics has a higher bar, while a Hong Kong university to those of us who have been in the A-level system is a surer bet. I'm looking forward to going abroad to study, but I'm also worried and hesitant at the same time. It makes me emotional just thinking about it. But due to the pandemic, it's difficult to buy plane tickets, and China has a strict quarantine policy for overseas travelers. Once I leave, I might have to stay abroad for the entire 3 years. I will be so homesick. I might cry at night frequently. What do I look forward to in college? An internship. After all, the London School of Economics is known for its internship program. I have heard that everyone is looking for an internship as soon as they start school. I do look forward to traveling in Europe, which is a main reason I chose the UK, since it's geographically convenient to travel around Europe from there. I might go to grad school in the United States, and then I could have another series of trips in America. That would be perfect.